Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here from QBKing77.com, here with the Nexus 6. No, this is not a Nexus 9 box flipped upside down. It is the actual Nexus 6. A little difficult to say with the two S's back to back. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and open this up, show you what's inside, give some first impressions on the device, the massive screen. Also compare it to devices like the Note 4, Moto X, LG G3, just kind of give a size comparison and show off the differences. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, here it is, the Nexus 6, just a little teaser. I do have another one. We'll be comparing the two colors, the blue and the white, so be sure to subscribe so you're notified of that video, but let's go ahead and get into it. So, want to open this guy up, flip it on over, obviously just pictures of it. I did get the 32GB variant. There's a 32GB and 64GB variant, one being $50 more than the other, so keep that in mind. The 32GB is $650 and the 64GB is $700. So gonna go ahead and put a little cut in these sides and then pull them open. This is actually a lot more difficult than it was on the Nexus 9. Okay, so there we go. Got it open. Now I can slide the box up. Again, this is made by Motorola, so you will see similarities with other devices that I do have here. So peel this guy on off, nothing else inside this box. Now, greeted right away with this massive display, this massive device. Holy cow, it's huge. Here it is in my hands. I would say I'm a pretty normal, average sized hand, so this is exactly what it looks like in them. So let's put this to the side though, and I want to go ahead and talk real quick about what's in the box. So inside you do have, looks like some booklets, information as usual. So you'll see Nexus 6, peel that open and you'll let you know the power button, charging, all that stuff, let you know how to use the basic functions of your device, which I would hope I know how to do by now. Looks like a SIM card remover as well. So you can go ahead and pop the SIM in. I will do that in just a second. I will be using the Nexus 6 a lot, getting a lot of hands-on with it, and I'm going to do a full review very soon. Safety, warranty information, all that good stuff. Now, and then down at the bottom, you do have the AC adapter and the power cable. I'm going to go ahead and peel open the power cable real quick, just so you can see the length of it. I know a lot of people ask me about that, if it's maybe a typical smaller size, or if it actually they included a larger one. Looks to me right away that it's going to be a average smaller micro USB cable. It is. So typical sized, not like a longer one that Samsung usually does send out. Now you also have the charging adapter that actually will allow for the turbo charging. So let's see if it says it. Turbo power supply, it actually says that at the bottom. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go to our phone now, what you guys are actually waiting for. Alright, so we can go ahead and turn it on, hit the power button, and while it boots up, I can flip it over, show you guys the back of it. As you can see, this is the midnight blue version of it. Looks really great, honestly. I do like the look of it. We can peel this off as well. Always very satisfying doing that, especially on a new device. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the hardware. First of all, first thing I noticed was the buttons. So you'll see right here, get this to focus, the volume buttons are smooth, and the power button, it has little ridges on it. See if I can get that to focus. So there you go. As you can see right there, the nice ridges on the power button, so you know what button you're feeling instantly as soon as you put your finger on it. That's a great touch that Motorola did add to the Moto X as well. So flipping it on over in the back, you do have that 13 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization. Something I don't know if any other person has pointed out, but this is normal. That little gap right there is normal. So don't freak out if you say, oh, there's a chip in this. It's supposed to be like that, so don't worry about that. The back has a nice texture to it. It does have grip to it, you won't have to really worry about dropping it. I guess it is a big phone though, so you might have to actually worry about dropping it. Left side, nothing but nice aluminum feel to it. Down at the bottom, micro USB slot right there, and up at the top, SIM card slot and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, as you can see, the device has turned on. Gorgeous display. It is a 6-inch display. It's QHD, which is 2560 by 1440 Quad HD. I'm going to skip putting in my SIM card for now. Of course, I will do that soon. I'm actually going to connect to my router just so you guys can see some certain things that can be done. You'll also notice you do have dual speakers. This is stereo sound, so when you listen to music, it's going to come out of both of these grills. So as you can see right here, hopefully I'm going to probably compare it to HTC One M8 as well and mention that in my review video if you're curious about that. So tap to go. So there's a couple things you could do. You could actually use NFC and put two devices back to back. So I actually am using my Moto X 2nd generation right now. I don't think NFC is on, but if I went like this, oh, it is on. So tap and go. This would be copy accounts and data from this device. So you'll see Bluetooth will be used. I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to obviously just use everything from my Google account and throw it all my apps, contacts, well, not necessarily contacts if it's backed up to your Google account, but all my apps are going to get synced over to this. All my settings, all my app settings, all of that's going to go onto this device as well, which is great just because it could take a while to set up a new device. So you'll see it's copying data. It's using Bluetooth to do this, so just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so I signed in. It says adding accounts. I do want to make note of this dimple on the back, actually. So you'll see this little dimple. It's actually a kind of a mix between the Moto X 1st generation and Moto X 2nd generation. So here's the Moto X 1st gen dimple. You'll see it's a little smaller, but it's very actually it's pretty much the exact same as the Moto X 1st generation dimple, just larger, obviously with the larger device. And then here is the Moto X 2nd generation, which is a little more, I guess, concave, and you can actually feel it a lot more. It's not as smooth. So just to make note of that, it's actually very smooth and it's not as indented as the Moto X 2nd generation. All right, so continuing on, I'm going to go ahead and hit next, checking connection, software update. So maybe it does have a software update. The Nexus 9 did. It didn't. So my account was added. That's great. All right, another great feature of Lollipop. You can get your apps and data from backups that were on other devices. So you'll see I have a bunch listed here just because obviously I have multiple devices, but I'm going to go ahead and use this one. I believe this is the XT1056 is the Moto X 2nd generation, and I'm going to hit done. And then it's going to let you know how many apps are actually going to, that's actually not the correct thing, but you can also edit what apps get synced as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and hit next. And then you'll see Google services. Make sure you read those and if you want to actually have them checked or not. Get Google Now, of course I'm in. I'm going to hit next. I love Google Now. It's such a great feature. All right, so it's taking a while to restore, but I do want to note another feature, which is wireless charging. It does support Qi wireless charging. And here's just a wireless charger I have. I will link to where you can get this if you're interested in the description. So all you have to do is touch the two and it should start charging. I don't know if it's not, there you go. So you heard a beep and looks like this is done. So actually I believe the bottom of the device has the wireless charging. So let me go ahead and set this down. So it beeps and then it should be charging. There it goes, made the noise on the Nexus 6 and it is now charging. I also have if those of you that do have it, the old Nexus charger charging orb. I'm actually going to set that up so you guys can see that it actually does work. Just set it down at the bottom, more towards the bottom of the device, I believe. And it should work. There it goes. So it's working just fine sitting there on the old charging orb. I know a lot of people were asking me about that. So there you have it. Now, there we go. Welcome. Here it is. Android 5.0 Lollipop and the Nexus 6. So you'll see while apps are installing, it does have a grayed out circle right there. Beautiful display. It looks great. You'll see it's restoring everything. Here's Google Now in the Google Now launcher. Pull this down. It's giving me all my missed emails, all that good stuff. And there it is. So now let's go ahead and grab the Note 4, which I will be doing a comparison video pretty soon. Also, don't worry about the screens. This has about no battery left, so this is really dim, so don't take that as a screen comparison. I just want you to see the screen size comparison. 5.7-inch display on the Note 4, 6-inch display on the Nexus 6. So there you go. And now let's go ahead and turn these off and then go ahead and do a, I guess, comparison with just the front of the two devices. So similar build size. Obviously the screen size isn't hugely different. You'll see I do have a fly grip on my Note 4 as well. So yeah, you'll see, feels not the same, I guess, but it's similar. This is a little more square. These have a little more rounded edges as well. Weight-wise in the hand feels very similar. So there's those two devices side by side. Also, want to go ahead and show you, for some reason I want to show you guys the Nexus 5. So here's the Nexus 5 next to it, 5-inch display versus 6-inch display. Of course, two different manufacturers. We got LG with the Nexus 5 and Motorola with the Nexus 6. So you can really expect a lot of differences between the two devices. You can't really expect them to be the same because the manufacturer is actually different. And finally, here it is next to the LG G3, in case you were wondering about that. So build's a little bit different, of course, between these two. It looks like obviously the bottom bezel kind of sticks out more when you align the two screens, flipping it over. A little bit different, of course, the buttons on the back of the LG G3. So yeah, those are the comparisons I want to make. I know a lot of people were asking me about those. Now I want to go ahead and show you a feature called Ambient Display, which is on Lollipop. There's no notification LED to my knowledge. I think there might be, but it's not activated, so they've actually replaced it with Ambient Display. So when you move it, you'll see it just kind of, I guess, flickered all your notifications in that Ambient Display. When a notification comes in, it's also going to, I guess, pop up on your device. So you'll see right there, I don't know why it's not staying lit up, but you'll see when you tap on the screen, when ambient display does show up, it's actually going to activate your lock screen, and you can then unlock the device. So looks like it's difficult to, I guess, get to show up, but it's essentially this, but in more black and white to help save battery. Looks like there is a system update. Interesting. So it does have a system update. But anyways, of course, this is like a brand new install. It is backing things up and installing things. I'm going to go ahead and do that system update after this video. But yeah, so it looks great, runs smoothly, of course. It's pretty much right out of the box. But I'm going to give this a huge rundown and also do a full review. I'll do a full Lollipop review as well, probably tomorrow. So expect that tomorrow. I've been running Lollipop for a long time. And then I'm going to go ahead and try this guy out. I'm pretty excited to try out the camera. Nexus cameras have always let me down. So we'll see if this 13 megapixel can actually live up to standards of other flagship devices. And that's about it. I'm also going to test out the speakers, of course. I do listen to a lot of music out of my phone. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Hopefully this was informative. If you could give it a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you could subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. All links will be in the description of the video below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.